Is your room going good, Zella?
Just waiting on players.
Who's all in there?
We got 5 JJ and 4 Fogs.
Okay.
Alright, here we go. This is RVG versus MM. Newbie. Looks like MM is starting off by sending double T-22s towards the A cap, sending the rest of their 5 tanks in towards B. RVG's got an interesting thing going on with Raceland and his mouse. I think he's trying to get to the spot to hold cross shots on the crossing B. Yes, he is. He does get spotted by Bubba, though, giving away his position very early. His glorious tail is now moving in over there with him. Looks like RVG is setting up to hold and then setting their mediums around towards A to counter the potential flank from MM. Currently, MM has 4 holding the B side, just trying to prevent RVG from pushing in to potentially try and get cap advantage. RVG does have a slight cap advantage, though, about half a second. Looks like Rith is starting to push around. He does get spotted by both T-22s. He misses a shot. So does Dragons. They ineffectively trade against each other and end up just falling back, holding more. Mothra does take a bleeding hit from his glorious tail. It's a rather unnecessary peek from him, as all they have to do is hold at this moment until Bubba can figure out how he wants his team to attack. Mothra does get a bleed in return, keeping the hit points fairly equal, with the exception of the double mouse on RVG keeping their hit points at 2,000 more. RVG does a very nice coordinated attack, fully rushing onto B, surrounding Swifty and Nico. If they can focus fire super effectively here, which it looks like they're doing very well, Nico is going to go down, and shortly after that Swifty, which gives them a very large hit point advantage again, as MM attempts to do their best to bleed out RVG. It is not working super effectively. Mothra missing a shot point blank on Beastly Flash, now leaving himself by him in the middle of 6 players. Dragon's coming in, trying to finish off our Rith. Bubba does get the clear. Not before Rith can take out Mothra, though. Very good last-ditch effort. MM is down by 5,000 hit points. It is very unlikely that they are going to win, especially since RVG does have the double cap and the cap advantage. Dragons is now stuck in the middle of the focus fire. Even his T-22's armor profile is not enough to save him. It is now a 3v5. Tunnel Simmer being picked as the new target as he tries to take out Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He does manage to take him out. If MM can take out I Love Comanche, that would keep them in this for a little bit longer, and they might be able to pull it back. Bubba can get the clear. Tunnel some more is a one-shot to the mouse, though, leaving it now a 2v3. MM has been able to keep themselves in this surprisingly well for the HP and gun advantage that RVG has had for a majority of this game. Raceland does get set on fire, which does bleed him a little bit too much. Applejuice here attempting to push in, but WDR is forcing Raceland back, and the other two are attempting to take out Bubba. WDR misses his shot point blank on Raceland, which is not good. His Glorious Tail is now starting to focus on WDR while Applejuice and Raceland focus on Bubba. Unfortunately, they weren't able to keep their DPM up, and is not going to be able to survive this. Good effort on their part, though. They almost did manage to survive. His Glorious Tail coming in with a very nice ram on WDR, tracking him and making his speed boost ineffective. They do manage to have 5,000 hit points left, primarily his Glorious Tail having about over 2,500 HP left. Those mouses do really make the hit point advantage a little bit skewed. I'm going to open up the poll and see if it works this time. It's just a pretty basic poll on who you think is going to end up being the winners of these rounds. It's going to be a little bit skewed since RVG already got up before I started the poll, but I'm still interested to see what people think. It'll be open for 10 minutes, and it should have a message pop up in chat telling you how to vote. In chat, you should have to just type in either this or this for who you think will win. See if this actually works. No idea. Does get spotted by
Alright, everyone's ready. Starting in 3, 2, 1, battle.
RVG starting off with the 2,000 hit point advantage yet again. Primarily just those double mouses giving them that large pool of hit points. Does not help that Moonman is also running an E3, which is losing them a couple hundred hit points. But the E3 does have the armor to compensate and the big scary gun. Moonman does have cap advantage at this point in time if they do get it off before getting rushed. RVG is full sending Swifty and Mothra. If they can bleed these two IS-4s at the very beginning, that would be very beneficial for their team. They, at this point, only get 2 shots into Swifty before Swifty manages to get away, so they didn't bleed him too hard, and Rith does take some hits himself. A nice punishment for the damage they did to Swifty. RVG has taken control of the park while is attempting to hold them off on the push. RVG is trying to also get the C cap while Mothra and WDR are attempting to reset them. They will not be successful as long as RVG does get the IS-4s into cover. Dragon's coming in with a nice little flank on the mouse, tunneling down Rith first as the double mouses push tunnel some more. It is not looking good for Rith. Tunnel some more at half health. Swifty clearing out Rith. Tunnel some more low, but still potentially going to survive, except for these IS-4s that are pushing in to help Raceland finish him off. They're doing a good job of pushing to clear the target. Dragons is attempting to 1v1 Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and is currently losing that battle. Swifty is pretty much by himself with the cover of WDR, trying to take out I Love Kamichi or Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He does manage to take out Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, allowing Nico to turn and put a shot into Applejuice Hero. Applejuice Hero is now 674 health, and RVG is losing this battle. They did lose all of their hit points on those pushes. They did a very good job, but did manage to capitalize on them being split and tunnel them down, particularly their DPM. Raceland's still alive, even though he was low from the beginning. The mouse is low DPM, and by that, a lower threat. Bubba is trying to put in as much damage as he can into Raceland, hoping Raceland can't get him. Raceland does take him out, but he is a 2-shot to the... Actually, a 1-shot to Nico, who's in the E100, if Nico can pen with AP. He does get a heat round in, leaving Mothra and WDR to try and kill them. WDR only has to HE the side of the mouse to get the finish. Much better from MM this round.
So it's 1-1 now?
It is 1-1.
Cool. What about your match, Zilla?
They took forever, but I think we're finally ready to start.
Wow. Okay.
Fogs just had someone come into the room at the last minute.
Awesome. All right. Cool.
In my opinion, I think New Bay is a little biased. I think the south spawn on New Bay is superior to the north spawn.
I agree. I like it a lot more.
Especially on the BC side where you can get a lot of coverage. There's a lot more openings for people to shoot through on the south side than the north.
Yeah, that park, if South can hold control of that park is a major advantage because they can bleed anyone who tries to push from the construction site towards the park. So Southside is a little bit biased. So let's see if that bias is prevalent in this next match and if RVG will win based on that bias, or if MM was throwing first round like I'm hoping they were, so that they can come back and cinch a victory.
I mean, you are a bit biased here.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm totally biased. I mean, I am enjoying how well RVG is playing. Back from when I joined MM, RVG has improved substantially. They managed to get themselves into top 10 on Blitz Stars, versus I think they were top 30, so they have significantly improved. It is quite nice to see.
They did do pretty well in the Challengers. They got 13th, I believe, in Challengers.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
What,
it's always...
RVG?
Yeah.
RVG was in... Weren't they in the top 8?
I have no idea. I didn't watch Challengers.
They were in the Challengers.
They were in Challengers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only reason I remember is because they versed Moonmen. Or not Moonmen, they versed JJ in the Challengers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Moonmen didn't make any of those because they threw to Galaxy. Like the pros they are.
Bit interesting how...
Well, guess who just lost their first match to Fogs?
Ooh.
They lost?
Their first match.
Dear God.
Although, as I was saying earlier, it is nice to see more clans starting to figure their shit out and going to a higher level. Because in NA, there's definitely the top 3 are very just isolated from the majority of the other clans. So it's always good to see when other clans start to exceed with their skill and go up, change up the top, you know, shift it around a little bit, and potentially upset the top 3. That would always be good to see.
When's the last time that's happened?
Their first match?
Yes, they did. I think one of them didn't bring Emma. That's very cool.
Where's rating on RVG?
I just had to go yell at JJ real fast. Don't worry about it.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I forgot to plug your stream.
Oh, how could you forget such an important thing?
I'm
know.
gonna plug it in this match just because.
I got it. Hang on. Ugh. At Citizen. Is that the link in general for the stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1, now.
Dunk is voting for Rith right now. He's messaging me saying go Rith. Let's see if they play it similarly. It does look like a slightly different loadout, not the double T22 from either side. So just one medium this time. Rith is having 2 E5s speed boost up the A ramp. They're not going to really see much. Dragons is purely spotting at this point, trying to give his team information on if they are going to be flanked from A. is slightly behind on cap yet again. That Park being the advantageous side, that's a word, not whatever I just said. Rith and Cole managing to get some shots into Mothra, forcing Mothra to back off of his corner, which does allow RVG to have the slot to go right there for a flank and pincer maneuver. At this point, they are just trying to bleed as much as they can while pushes on to B. It does appear like is going to try and force a push into the Park, which, as I was saying earlier, is very difficult because the Park is so much better and easier to hold, especially with E5s and IS4s that have those low profiles and gun depression. Not both per tank, you know what I mean. is pushing in. They are at the HP advantage. Again, it's partially because of the double mouse and the E3. WDR in the E3 is trying to put as much damage in before he gets tunneled down by Raceland and Cole. is working on finishing up teams. Their focus fire appears to be off a little bit, or it was his glorious tail blocking Nico. I think that's what it was. His glorious tail is doing a very good job of blocking off from the focus fire, ruining their DPM potential and their ability to take out guns quickly. Dragon's accidentally blocking Nico, which prevented Nico from getting another shot off into Rith. That is really unfortunate for Nico. The HP point isn't too skewed that can't pull it back, although RVG is doing a very good job of taking out Dragons now. Rith still alive somehow, which is not good for Looks like Bubba is making his way over there to try and clear Rith, while Swifty tries to line up a shot past Cole. He does not manage to get the HE, leaving Rith on 9. That is super unfortunate. Bubba now going to be the last one alive. Mostly full hit points, only down 500. He does manage to take out Rith, but does bleed 700. It is now a 3v1, and very unlikely for Bubba to win, because all three of RVG's tanks are at least 75% or higher. Bubba trying to do as much damage as possible. And
if Bubba wins, I'm cutting off my left toe.
I will hold you to that statement. Does RVG need to only win 2? This was a best of 3 as well, correct?
Yes, only best of 3, strictly.
Strictly best of 3.
Oh, best of 3.
Yes. The polls were open, but it wasn't open for long enough. So it looks like the poll ended up being 50-50. I'm going to double check that.